Oh
Thanks.
my, what is that? That was just on my screen. There was just a scary bear. But yeah, we're heading into map number 2, and it is going to be G2 attacking first. We've seen what they're capable of doing with the pistols. Ghost in hand for Mixwell. Meddo, of course, setting up yet again here on the B site, and it looks like it's just the one member on the A site, and everyone else is here at B and C. As the push through a garage is going to come through, ardiis is going to be there to work with, and Suede manages to get one. And actually, I see that Fabriken, there's a little bit of... I see rifles. Why am I seeing rifles right now?
Yeah, not entirely sure. We just got a UI bug up right now, but there's definitely no phantoms in the pistol round. You can see the collapse come out here. G2 pushing all the way on to C site. Spike will go down. LATEKS does get spotted behind platform there. And actually, yeah, Meddo's going to go for an aggressive angle onto pyth there. We'll find him at backside. You can see already all the members making all the way back out to long. And there you go. Final player will go down. Meddo finds out with a ghost, and the defuse will come out. And apologies, obviously, I don't think Suede is a player for either of our teams today, so it looks like we may have some kind of observer bug, as we did see with the phantoms there, but we will try and counter it the best we can, guys.
The phantoms threw me. I'm going to be completely honest. I thought maybe we should join the game
round one phantom
later.
buys. That's a new one.
I was so confused. I saw him pushing through garage, and I saw a phantom, and I was like, oh, hold on, he's going to get an easy spray down, surely. But either way, the first round, and the pistol round, not phantom round, goes in favor of G2, and I think this is what we should expect. We should expect G2 to dominate this attacking half because they are more on their comfort zone, I feel, here, rather than on bind. But we'll see as they send 5 members towards A, and the first point of defense is going to be Meddo on that Cypher. The real question is going to be, can he actually do anything and get any sort of early picks? As Mixwell dashes on with the shorty, and he just does so much damage with that gun. He can be a real threat, and he's just explosive onto the site. The spike will go down, and it's going to be a very difficult retake here.
It will, yeah. And A, again, like I was saying just before we started this one off, one of the hardest to retake on this map. You can see already G2 got a fantastic post plant set up here. Mixwell looking for first contact with the shorty. The blind will actually come through there, and actually Shadow will find him with the charge through the wall. LATEKS will find Pat as well. Shadow gonna stun through the hell. Actually, Fabriken looking pretty good on the retake here. Just ardiis down on long, and actually gonna go ahead and defuse the spike.
So we've got the UI is just the wrong way around at the moment as well, by the looks of things. There's just a couple of observer twitches that are coming through. So Fabriken do have the lead in terms of series. G2 unfortunately haven't been able to pick up those first 2 rounds. So there we go. We'll get that one switched around. Apologies from our end.
G2 I thought I was going crazy for a second there, Dan. And when I heard you not correct me, I was like, oh, maybe I didn't. But I thought it might have just been my feed, but
it's all good. With any new patch and any new observer things being added, there's always going to be a couple of changes that throw a spanner in the works, and online broadcasts always make things fun. But either way, all sorted now. Mixwell gets the opener onto LATEKS, so at least that's a better start for G2 here, and they've found them very comfortably onto C site. G2 ardiis gets the second. And now it's just a case of trying to get a retake, but this is not going to work when they've got ops watching things, and they just need to get the spike down at C. Should be nice and comfortable with just 1 player remaining on the side of Fabriken.
This is exactly what I meant, though. Just straight away, as soon as that pick comes, you see how quickly ardiis and Mixwell are on C site. And again, at that point, it's so difficult for anybody. And again, Meddo went for a peek. He needed to get some sort of information there. See Zyppan not really in a position to kind of, follow up on anything that Meddo can do, because they have complete site control. As soon as that operator's holding the defensive spawn, there's not an awful lot to do for Fabriken there, to be honest with you.
Well, it's just about waiting, saving anything you can at this point. I don't think they're going to be able to find him, so it's going to be the first round going to G2 eventually. Do they see the player incoming? Yes, they do. So Zyppan can't even hold on to his weapon. Instead, Davidp will be able to scout him out. Now for G2, this is where they need to start picking up a round. Now Fabriken are going to be on a buy. No real damage done to their economy at G2, so it is going to be a full buy for both teams. We'll see how Fabriken can approach defensively now they've got rifles.
Again, round 3, usually the round where we see teams try and turn the tide if things haven't gone their way. Let's see, actually, if G2 decide to switch anything up, you can see David going to slow in towards Garage immediately. The owl drone coming out mid, the wallbang attempt coming through there. Pat will escape with his life, but again, they made him suffer for the window peek there. David's actually snuck his way all the way through to C-Link here. Might actually... This is huge right now. G2 could go for a full execute here. You can see them already rotating. They know as soon as David gets to this position, he's going to get himself at least one, and he actually finds 2 there. LATEKS and Leo will fall on C site.
Easy pickings when you're able to flank around so successfully, and now David is also going to flank through spawn here just to be more of a nuisance. Spike goes down. Zyppan does take down ardiis at the very least. 4 versus 2. In terms of a retake here for Fabriken, and I wonder whether they're even just going to consider about saving these rifles now at this point. There's the rotate coming through again from Davidp as he picks up his 4th, and go on, son, go for the ace. Why not? See if you can find Shadow. Ping's coming through, but pyth will clean it up. He says, don't worry about the ace. Let's just get onto this next round. 2-2. And G2 with a phenomenal little flank through the site there. David never should have been allowed to get that free walk through.
He has absolutely no business going all the way through C-Link and picking up 2 free kills on C there. That again, he pushed through the smokes. That's one of those frustrating situations where, you know, it's difficult to expect somebody to just sit and hold those smokes, but the cover going down on B site, and again, he absolutely maximized the potential off that flank. And as soon as he was through to the defensive spawn, you could see all 4 members wrapping around to C side, and it looks like now G2 are going to go for a quick push onto A side here. 2 members of Fabriken stacked up, see if they can hold it.
Sova will try and give the information here. Pushing onto the site, and they're going to walk straight into a shorty, but Davidp says, don't worry about your shorty, Meddo, you go down. And now they can push in and get aggressive. Mixwell has the knives out, and he is always a deadly force when he does so. Spike will go down, as well as smokes and everything else utility-wise, just to keep anyone from pushing onto this site comfortably. It's just shotguns, really, for Fabriken at this point. And I don't think they're going to be able to get a successful retake, but they just want to do a little bit of damage to the economy on the other side. Yep. If you've got sheriffs, if you've got shotguns, you try and do as much as you can. But Mixwell says, I tell you what, if you're going to face me, I'm just going to finish you off comfortably. And no damage going to be done from Leo's shotgun there. ardiis takes him. And now G2 pick up yet another one. And Fabriken on a buy yet again now are going to have to try and do something a little bit different. And this is what I was talking about before the game, Hypoc. They like to hold sites, they like to allow the other team to push onto the site, but if they lose a member in doing so, it can be so difficult trying to retake 4 versus 5 on a map like Haven.
Yeah, and again, Haven is one of those maps where you just, you naturally expect there to be a lot of retaking. It's difficult, obviously, when you're spread so thin on the defensive side to obviously have full control of the map without getting too aggressive and getting that early information that we saw a couple of times on Bind, but again, you have to be well poised in the retakes. And again, we're going to see this push from G2 coming out towards A. This time, 2 members again from Fabriken. Looks like Zyppan actually up on the box above long. ardiis going to come out with the owl drone. Not sure if he actually spotted him there, but pyth going to find LATEKS on the way in. Showstopper comes out from Zyppan. We'll find ardiis. Leo's actually there to get a peek out of the defensive spawn as well. Mixwell will find 1. Pat will find a 2nd. And there you go. They do have site control now. Spike will go down as well, just holding towards the defensive archway. Neural theft actually getting popped out here. Yeah, actually, the information going to come through, but Shadow going to lose his life to the operator of Mixwell.
And apologies for those watching, just for maybe some technical issues and a couple of frame rate issues at the moment. It's the same on our end, but I'm sure we'll work through it. The Vitality team will sort that one out as soon as we can. For now, we'll try and cover it as best as possible, as Meddo is just going to see if he can scout anyone down at short at the moment, but he's going to walk straight into the crosshair of Pat. And G2 continuing to roll through here on Haven after losing the opening 2 and losing the pistol. And imagine what this would look like if G2 were able to pick up the pistol round, Hypok. That's well, like I thought they did. But I think that G2 here now are just so confident pushing onto a site. Fabriken just haven't been able to hold as successfully as they did on Bind.
No, and it's again for how good they looked on Bind. This is not necessarily provided. Obviously, provided the track record, I'll say, of G2 on here, but Fabriken definitely need to switch something up if they want to, you know, maximize the number of points they can get on defense here. ardiis going to send the Owl drone again down C long. Mixwell looking for contact with the operator. Fault line will come through, but not going to catch Mixwell there. Now ardiis just going to walk his way up here. Little gap in the cyber cage as well.
Always scary when there's any sort of gap in a cyber cage because you wonder, is it a one-way? Have they set it up that way? Are they going to be peeking out? Cypher's very creepy and they're always lurking around corners. Yep, I just called you creepy, Hypok. Deal with it, all right? 4-2 still, though, for G2. They're going to be looking to make it 5. Omen bubbles come out, though. Dark cover is going to be available for their middle of B, and it looks like they're going to be rotating around and trying to go for an A execute. And I tell you what, if they do head over towards A, there is only the Sova. And this is what I was talking about from Fabriken is if they commit too heavily to one site and allow an easy push from G2, the rotation and the retake is going to be so difficult afterwards, and only a stinger to work with for Leo. Does manage to jump, he can give the information so the rotate can come from the rest of the squad, but I'm sure he's going to fall and probably not find anything with this. As I say that, Mixwell goes down. At least the trade comes through from Pat, but Leo has done his job. He's been able to find one kill as the opposing Sova is just going to be lurking in the middle of the map. Orbital Strike seems to have both killed a player and my stream, as the rest of the team will come through now from the defensive spawn, but it's not going to work out too well. Pat and pyth find one each. Zyppan at least gets the trade, but David and Pat clean things up for 5-2 now to G2. Again, they just waited patiently, got a little bit of information, showed presence, forced the rotate out from Fabriken, and then they were able to find the one site where there was only one solo player holding it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about Haven. It's almost like the psychological warfare aspect where, you know, the fake comes down at B, immediately no presence shown there. You could see, I think it was LATEKS that was still inside B site. He gets absolutely no information, but Fabriken didn't act on that. They didn't act on the fact that he didn't get any information or contact inside B site. Unfortunately, well, like you said, Leo doing enough work to even get one kill onto G2 with the stinger, but it's just not enough to hold down the site, unfortunately. G2 this time going to look for a push through garage. Owl drone's going to cross each other's path. Going to spot each other. Leodeddz now going to shut down ardiis, but he does actually get tagged there. David unable to convert on the Owl drone tag, and now you're going to see him wall off B. Look for some information into the backside of C, and it actually looks like he's going to find LATEKS at the back there. We'll actually spin and find Zyppan on top of the wall instead.
David just might be the most aggressive Sage I've seen in quite some time. He has no fear, just pushing through carriage and just taking down anyone that's in his sight lines. ardiis will at least take down Meddo as well. 3 members of G2 is still up. Fabriken only have 3 as well. LATEKS does his job. Shadow unfortunately gets traded out, but LATEKS gets a second, and that's a huge hold for him, meaning just one player. It is going to be David on his own on this Sage. Doesn't have the spike. The spike is down on A site. So he has a decision to make here. Does he go looking for information? Does he try and go for the long old rotate around to A long? It looks like that's going to be the plan. And Sova is going to be the first point of contact when he does head that way. Yeah, he has to just hit a shot, and he has to win an aim battle here.
Yeah, and this is going to be a straight up peak here. David actually, yeah, both players missing there, but Leo's got the information. He can just pull back now, take the 2v1 with his teammate. 13 seconds left in the round. Recon bolt going to come out here. David's going to find 1 and 2. That is fantastic from David. I thought the recon bolt was going to be the end of him, but he just swings out. And the last 8 seconds picks up the 2-piece. You cannot be losing at rounds like that, Dan.
I mean, I read an article on Spike GG about how Sages are going to find it difficult to rank up because they're not the entry fraggers that we see from the duelists. But Davidp saying, you know what, screw that. I can be as aggressive as I want and I can play the game how I want as well. He's just more than happy to push through and even be the flanker at times. I think that just shows the sheer amount of confidence in him and how confident he is in his team to perform elsewhere as well. But G2 do find one. ardiis takes down Zyppan after the initial one onto Pat. pyth, though, says no, nothing can happen. Mixwell takes down Leo as well. So 6-2 is the scoreline, and it's probably going to be 7 at this point. Fabriken look to try and get aggressive and peek out, but Fabriken, I think, probably tilted after losing that initial round. There was no way they should have lost the previous. They should have been able to pick up a third. And this is all leading towards a G2 victory already, in my eyes. 7-2, and I wouldn't be surprised if we end up maybe even at like a 10-2 with how they're playing right now.
No, it is. And again, I hate to say it, but losing rounds like they just did there, it's got to be a tilt factor to consider. And again, you talk about teams building momentum, that right there is just... It's G2 going from strength to strength. Their confidence all-time high now. I was expecting a bit more explosive gameplay out of G2. You know, I was talking about Mixwell looking for aggressive angles with the operator on attack, and we've absolutely seen that. But they've looked way more decisive on their attacking side here on Bind than they were on Bind, sorry. Which, again, we said was maybe an expectation, but it's fantastic to watch, Dan.
Certainly is a demonstration of how to approach Haven and how to get aggressive and push your way onto sites. Pat gets one onto LATEKS. Zyppan at least will get the trade. Mixwell with the Sheriff, though, does some real damage, spamming through smoke to see if he can find something else. Does get tagged by one hit of the Hunter's Fury, so he's down to just 70 HP, but he's got an op to work with. So I'm not sure he'll be too worried about it. Still 4 up for G2, only the 3 for Fabriken, and this spike should comfortably go down on the C site. There is one member of Fabriken flanking around from Garage side. As you can see on the side of G2, there is a cheeky Cypher pushing the defensive spawn, and he could very much do some damage right now.
He could, yeah. pyth, he can find something coming through here. You can see Leo, 5 HP set up. On the defensive side here, you can see him with the Phantom in hand. You're going to get contact onto Meddo, and Leo is going to find 2 with that flank. That's going to be the end of the round. G2 will put an 8th on the board. Shadow will tuck his tail between his legs and dip out towards mid-window and try and save that weapon.
So G2 may be taking advantage of the passive nature of Fabriken on a defensive side. They've been kind of scouting out sites, getting information.
Oh no.
As soon as they have that information, they rotate and they push one side. Can he get anyone? He doesn't even go through the legs. I think pyth was able to jump and star himself over that one.
It's almost like pyth planned that from the beginning. He had the camera set up outside A in the defensive spawn, gets the tag there. Information comes over exactly where he is, and Fabriken can't catch a break. They can't even save an operator right now.
We're going to have to see something very, very big from Fabriken on their attacking side, that's for sure. But from what we saw of G2 defensively on Bind, I feel like defensively on Haven, they're going to be even better because they're going to have the confidence to push down A long, to push down C long, to flash out of Garage, for example. So it is a very scary factor if you're on the side of Fabriken right now, just because of how much G2 have dominated this attacking side and the kind of signs of life they showed defensively on Bind. G2 were able to find the first in this particular round, but at least Shadow could do something with the Sheriff. Can he find a second as we get sprayed down through the wall and can't connect with his bullet? So Pat takes down Shadow, and it is going to be 2 members of Fabriken now eliminated off the server. 3 members remaining, and I'm not very hopeful, if I'm completely honest, for Fabriken. They don't have the weaponry, they've got Stingers. pyth will eliminate LATEKS, and it's just a matter of finishing this round now and getting into the final round of the half. 9-2 for G2. This is a bloodbath.
It is, yeah. It's. I didn't think it would be this bad. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you gotta respect it at the start there. Shadow and Zyppan looking to kind of sync up and look for some aggression out onto grass outside double doors, but again, the flash comes out and Zyppan gets shut down by David immediately when he peeks out. Again, like I said, you got to respect it, but just getting no value off that early round aggression.
Well, for any hope in the second half, Fabriken surely have to make this 9-3 and then win the pistol going into half number 2. ardiis will get the information, and he does spot one player deep C site. And the utility will come out defensively now as 3 members are pushing up C long, but the spike is just waiting in mid. Can they get one? No, Zyppan at least will eliminate Pat. There is a member already on that C site, so can LATEKS spot him out? Shadows will take down ardiis as well, so at least 2 members have fallen of G2, and this is better from Fabriken. They've been able to hold a little bit more successfully. They did stack, and 1 member is now going to be rotating towards A because they haven't seen the spike, but David might be able to worm his way onto B site here.
Yeah, that was huge from LATEKS there. He used the shrouded step twice, actually, doubling back between default and platform on the back of the recon bolt, tagging him up. You can see David over towards A heaven now. Maybe going to swing up onto staircase. You can see pyth actually going to... Sorry, Meddo. My bad. pyth not actually in a position to trade that. Meddo will find David completely unopposed. Mixwell now looking to get aggressive on this. He's going to push all the way up here. You can see Meddo down to a lick of HP. Mixwell will find a headshot. Doesn't matter anyway. Here we go. Fabriken now coming back through in a 4v2 retake situation for them. Recon Bolt going to go out the top. That's going to spot Mixwell. He's not. He's actually going to push into Archway here. That's going to find Shadow. That's fantastic from Mixwell. One player on the flank to worry about. Zyppan will find 1. Collapse coming out of heaven now, but Mixwell still finding kills over here. LATEKS will fall. He does get his dash back, but there you go. Leo will land the headshot with the Phantom through the archway. Zyppan will stick the defuse. Again, 4v2 retake, but well played from Fabriken nonetheless.
9-3 then, and I mean I want to be hopeful, and I want to say, okay, well Fabriken at least they've got 3 on the board. Haven sometimes can be an attacking heavy map, but I worry for them because G2, with how aggressive they've been defensively on Bind, I think they might show us how to play this map and maybe teach a lesson to Fabriken as well. But who knows? We'll see what happens. The pistol round, of course, going to be massive. If G2 take this pistol, you imagine this game is comfortably going to them. But if Fabriken can win this pistol, then there's always going to be that chance of a pretty heavy comeback. I
mean, it's a win-win for us, right? We either see an amazing comeback or we see a 3rd map. So I'm definitely open to both possibilities here. Pyth's going to look for an early deep camera on C long. He's actually going to pick up. I think he only spotted 2 of them on the cam there, maybe the 3rd, but LATEKS putting some dark cover down at the end. C long. Now Mixwell's already rotated over to back plat, going to shut down the recon bolt. Not going to spot either, but the paranoia does come out and does catch pyth. He pushes into the smoke though. Does find 1. Shadow's going to trade it out. Mixwell going to get 1 for himself. Shadow finds the 2nd. David, the all-star, will find 2 from the top of logs now. Meddo, the last man up for Fabriken in a 1v2 situation. He does still have the spike in hand, though. You can see a double swing from G2 there. ardiis will land the headshot. Easy cleanup for G2.
Things go from bad to worse then for Fabriken. That's exactly what they didn't want to happen. Losing the pistol means that G2 realistically should have 11, unless we see maybe a counter force from Fabriken when they recognize the situation and how they don't really want to be sacrificing any rounds.
Yeah.
Or...
I mean, this is the one situation where, you know, Fabriken should be saying, look, unless we want to put them on 11, potentially 12, let's kind of anti-eco and force up here.
Well, it does look like just pistols to work with. They're not going to go for any sort of dramatic force. They're more than happy for G2 to go to 11 and then play the game out. And maybe they can make a dramatic comeback and we might get first overtime with the new overtime rules in place. But maybe I'm just being hopeful here because I think G2 are going to get easy straight down. Pyth finds 1, should be 2. Gets help from Mixwell as well. And that's going to be the 3rd for him, and that was just easy pickings. In respect to Fabriken for committing to one site, but G2 were wise to it and they ran straight into the rifle.
The fantastic setup from pyth there, though. The cyber cage above the door. As soon as contact comes through, pops the cyber cage. He picks himself up 2 for free, gets the 3rd with the classic. Mixwell there to back him up as well, finding 2 kills for himself. Really, really good setup for that garage hold.
Well, Fabriken, the time is now. 11-3. You finally got money, you finally got rifles. What do you have to offer in terms of executes here on Haven? And it comes out just to ensure that no one's going to be pushing out of garage. And it's just going to be a pretty default setup at the moment, just hovering around B and 2nd mid to see if there's going to be any aggressive pushes from G2. Are we going to see G2 showing their aggression defensively? It doesn't look like they're going to be pushing out from A site or C site right now. They do have someone, Mixwell, all the way down in the cubby on C. So he's going to have so much information if anyone does push up to C long.
Yeah, ardiis wrapping all the way over to A link here. Gonna pick up some of the slack onto B site here. Gonna find Zyppan actually outside in cubby. This rotation from ardiis actually paying off dividends already. Meddo trying to find something up. The paranoia comes out. That will have caught Pat on site, but ardiis is there to back him up with the operator. Will shut down Meddo on short. The flash comes out from Shadow. That's going to get him up towards Graffiti, but they do actually get control of site here. Spike will go down on default, so looking like we're going to have a 4v3 retake situation for G2. One player already up towards heaven. Two players on the flank. Mixwell and Davidp going to come through. Maybe find something through long. He's trying to get a spy cam out of heaven. ardiis going to get his recon up here, so he's going to set up for a recon bolt here. You can see the spot comes in. Mixwell's going to find Leo. Does he take a headshot though? LATEKS find him one. pyth going to shut down two with the Spectre. That's a really, really strong retake there, Dan, from G2.
That's just a slap in the face to Fabriken, really. Their first rifle buy. G2 was still weak with SMGs, and they've been able to retake successfully. But again, it was down to the information they were able to gather. Mixwell got so aggressive up C long, was able to say to the rest of his team, look, they're not here at C long, so if you can't spot them mid B, they're probably going to be pushing A. The op pick got the one player at B, and then suddenly they were able to rotate comfortably to A as well. And they were there and waiting. So there was no easy push onto site for Fabriken like there was for G2 earlier. G2 were able to walk onto site with only one member there, but G2 had all the information defensively, and now they're one round away from tying this series up 1-1. As we maybe expected here on Haven. A bit of a spray down from Davidp does actually do a little bit of damage to a couple of members from Fabriken, eliminating and shredding away any armor that they might have to offer. As David will just retreat here, and now it's all going to be Pat. He does find the first. Shadow goes down, and well, LATEKS falls too. And this is going to be...
I know exactly.